Hey, what's going on? We are live from Mindset Monday. I'm here with my good friend Dave. Dave, what's going on, brother?
Yo, Jonathan, what's up, buddy? How are you? Good to see you, pal.
I'm good. We got a lot to go over with this weekend, right? Crazy weekend. Uh, One of the things I want to tell you guys is things are going to be a little bit more crazy, a little bit more turbulent from now until the election. I also want you guys to know that none of this is normal, okay? None of this. It is not normal to have an assassination attempt on a former president who is now running for office. It is also not normal for them to have 3 minutes in between when they saw him and it was reported and when shots went out. Okay, those snipers are the best in the world. They should be the best in the world. That should be an easy shot. Nothing about it smells right, sits right, looks right. So here's the message that we want to leave you with is actually do some critical thinking and do your own research into what you think happened because none of that was normal. Okay. And anyone can see that. And that's obviously the first thing we had to address. That's the big elephant hanging out in a room.
Mhm.
And so, what are some things that you guys, what we wanted to focus on is what are some things you guys can do to stay in the know, to make wise decisions from here to the election? Does that make sense, Dave?
Yes,
Something we
sir.
want to cover?
Yes, sir. Roger
Cool.
that.
So, I'm going to keep you guys uh, saner longer. Do not watch the news, okay? Because if you put on CNN, you're going to see one side of a story. If you put on Fox News, they're going to cover that story, and it's going to sound like a different story, right? And that it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you lean on. This is a time for everyone to unite and to be unified, to understand that there are forces at play here that are not normally part of this discussion, and you have to be very vigilant. And what I would try to do is one of the things you could do is go get your information from places that aren't unfiltered. Okay. That would be a good start, right? That the places that do not have a very, very obvious bias, whether it's right or leaning or left leaning. Because if you don't, you're always going to get one side of the story, one tint on it, and it's always going to be very hard to figure out what's actually going on. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with everything you've said so far, 100%. To add to that, eh, this is a time for unity, man. And it takes me back to, when September 11th happened, right? It's one of the probably the best times as a country that I can remember us seeing come together. You know, I was 20 years old at that time. And when tragedy strikes, and it could have been a lot worse, right? Like this conversation could be completely different. They say 1 inch can be a separator for everything, right? And
Mhm.
again, this whole conversation could be completely different today, and who knows what could have happened over the last couple days. But
Yeah.
regardless, this is the time for people to come together, man.
Yes.
Like,
I,
yeah, 100%. Doesn't matter what
I
side of
agree. I agree with that. And here's what also you guys should do. You should actually prepare to do your duty come election time. What does
the
that look like? Okay. It looks like actually looking up everyone that's going to be on the ballot and what their voting decisions are. Okay. Imagine if you could remove the R and the D next to people. Actually look at their voting records. Okay. I'll tell you right now, right off the bat, anyone that voted no on the SAVE Act is getting voted out. Anyone. Anyone, okay? Because that's treason. It's very easy. Like, oh, should foreigners be allowed to vote in our elections? Should immigrants that just came here illegally should they be allowed to vote? Absolutely no. Okay, so anyone that voted for that, instant out. And what you have to do is you actually have to go back and see what their voting records are. It's the only truth that you're going to get from them. You can't listen to what they're telling you. They lie. They're professional liars, right? Look at their actions, look at what they do. It's no different than when you are trying to vet out a new business relationship or you are trying to vet out a new friend. You don't want to listen to what they're saying. You want to watch what they're doing. Okay. So that's a big part of this is, hey, you guys really should actually look into that come election time. What's another thing they could do, Dave?
Yeah, and besides taking accountability, right, and responsibility for yourselves. You need to take we forget because we've had it so good for so long that we're in control of this, not them. You know what I mean? To add to what you're saying, we're in control. We've gotten lazy.
Yeah,
And
they work for us. We don't
exactly.
work for them.
We've taken our eye off the ball. We get lazy. What they say is good on the surface. What this guy said, what that lady said. All right, cool. Yeah. Out of sight, out of mind doesn't affect me. Okay. But guys, like, don't be lazy with this. Like, we are in control. Do your homework. Okay.
Yeah.
What affects us? You have a voice, use it. And I think that's another thing we get away from. Like, we don't voice our opinions, right? Or facts. What's the First Amendment? That's number one at the top of the list, is to use your voice. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, that's another thing, guys. The everything that's in the Constitution, if we don't own it and claim it and use it, it will be taken away. Okay, our right to free speech. If you guys don't exercise that right, eventually we lose it. Same thing. Like, and these are very, very, very vital to how we operate as a society, as a culture. I'm going to give you guys a couple obvious ones, but they're obvious because they're super important, right? If you think things are going to be turbulent, if times are going to be crazy, okay, you should have 6 months of living expenses. If you own a business, you need to be able to run with 6 months with absolute chaos, with nothing coming in. Okay, so business and personal have 6 months of operating expenses, and then you should have 6 months of food and water, right? If you have all that stuff squared away, you're in a good position that even if things do get a little crazy, a little chaotic, you guys will be okay, right? You'll have enough time to let things settle out, make the wise decisions. And guys, these are just good practices anyway. This isn't just for now. I mean, you always should have 6 months of savings, right? I'm not telling you anything game breaking. I'm just reinforcing things that you already know. All right, Dave, what else do you think people can do to put themselves in a good position to be prepared for additional chaos?
Yeah, man, that double down on that stuff anyway, and continue. And guys, we always talk about all this stuff, but take care of yourself even better, right? Continue to go to the gym, continue to eat healthy. It's not a diet. You're just putting good food in your body. I'm on a diet. No, you just eat healthy. It's the wrong mindset, right? And just stay aware. I think one of the important things that we don't talk about, because we're kind of in this matrix and getting all this crazy information from different angles, start having conversations with different people with different walks of life. I was at an event this weekend that we had a table at for a charity for the African community for Ghana. Dude, it was amazing. And it was all geared around rice. Different types of rice that's in Africa and Ghana and Kenya. And dude, it was one of the craziest events I've ever been to, man. People were dancing, people are hugging, people are high-fiving, and the conversations were awesome. All walks of life, man. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life. But also know this, it's okay to be different too. It's okay to have different viewpoints. It's okay to agree or disagree. But I think the conversation is what really happens. It could open a different perspective, a different viewpoint, and kind of get your wheels rolling. We're not like, nobody's right in their lens of the world. It's just not, and it's not how it works, you know. So that's the biggest separator when you really think about it.
I mean, there's right and wrong. I mean, there's absolutely right and wrong, Dave. Right? Well, there's certain things all of us can agree on are wrong. Leave fucking kids alone.
Yeah, okay? No pedophiles. Like,
stick to yourself. Worry about yourself, and don't be a piece of shit. I mean, those are right. Like, think about the 10 Commandments. Those are universally agreed upon principles that you should live your life by. Right? That's simple. God said this. It makes sense. Do it. But what are some of the other things too? Right? And this is something that if you haven't done, it's not something you pick up right away. But are like Dave talked about going to the gym. That's awesome. Everyone should go to the gym. Everyone should be physically fit. Here's something that, we don't talk about. How many of you have actually gotten into a fight? How many of you trained for violence? Probably not many of you. I'm being serious. I know. Like, I'm being real with you.
It's a rare, and we do take that for granted.
No, guys. This is serious, okay? I don't talk about it. I do martial arts all the time. Okay. My kids train in martial arts. Most of my family trains in martial arts. And it's from my wife's side. I didn't do that growing up as a kid. But you know what? That was one of the great habits that I got from her side of the family. Okay. Now my kids do it. I do it. And by the way, shooting is the same way. Some of you guys think that, you have a gun or a couple guns and, oh, I know how to use it. Okay, cool. When was the last time you put that out there? All right. How quickly can you load it? Are the sights working? Is everything in working order? When was the last time you shot it? How old is the ammo sitting there? Right? Think about all these things, okay, that we just check off. Oh, I got this. I'm good. Bullshit. You haven't used it. Okay. Some of you guys, like I see at these events, I know that if you had to move a mile or two, okay, to get to safety or to change your location, there's no way that's going to happen. All right. Let's not kid ourselves. All right. So you are not ready if things happen. Right. And guys, I'm not telling you this to be doom and gloom. We're trying to help. Like, these are just certain truths. Okay. Are you prepared? Are you ready? Do you have what you need? Are you and your family in a good spot? That's it. Yes or no. If you can't answer that question as a fucking yes and a hard yes, how are you the head of the household?
Yeah.
How are you leading the family?
It's not fear mongering, man.
It's not fear mongering, guys. Like, I'm trying to help. Okay. I'm trying to help. This is real.
Yeah. Because you never know when you're going to be faced in that situation. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It happened in PA outside of Pittsburgh, and we're not going to get into it, but we, in my household, we've had to implement that very recently. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when when your heart's pumping out of your chest, when you're like, what's going on? What could happen? Man, these are split decisions where if you're not ready, you're going to freeze. But if you practice these things, man, it's almost second nature. It's like, all right, man, it's time to fucking go. Like, what's going on?
Even if you practice every day, that doesn't guarantee anything. It means you're more prepared.
Yeah, okay? Exactly.
It means that you have a higher likelihood of getting what you need done. All right. And so that's why I'm saying, like, some of you guys that just think I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and that's good enough. It's not good enough, guys.
No.
Okay. You put your family on the line. You don't want to hear it, but that's the truth. All right. So I hope this helped you guys. I hope it was a wake up call to some of you. Dave, we'll catch him on Financial Fitness Friday, back to our normal stuff. Hopefully we don't have any more of these, distractions and these unfortunate events that don't seem to be all that random.
Yeah. Stay vigilant. That doesn't mean be a psycho. Just stay vigilant and keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, guys. And that's the other thing. This is not like this is not go buy everything, go march on the Capitol either, guys. It's not there. Okay. Yeah. This is eyes open. Have everything that you need for your family and your community, and just stay, watching.
Yes.
All right, guys. Hope you guys have a great week. Appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you Friday.
Be great, y'all.